ジタバタせずにコーヒーでも入れよう。
Hello.
What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Cheers. How's everybody doing?
All right.
Good.
Good. Everybody have a happy new year.
Yup.
Yep.
Bring on 2024.
Yeah. 2024. Oh, hang on. Let me turn on the comments. There we go. Hey, there we go. Everybody's here. Cool. So glad everybody's doing good. We are going to talk about our favorite stuff that came out in 2023. Stuff we bought, not like stuff we saw a picture of in the Godzilla collector's group. Yeah. Speaking of Godzilla collectors group, we're like, what, 30 members away from 6,000 members or something?
Didn't we hit 6,000?
No, it was like rounding up, but if you go in and look at the actual like numbers, we were like 52 off or something.
Still,
that day.
That's great.
Freaking math.
Yeah. Freaking Jeff Bezos and his rounding up. Wait, that's not Jeff Bezos. Who owns Facebook?
Zuckerberg.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Suckface.
The other rich guy. Oh, look, it's Christine. Hi.
Good morning.
God damn, what is it, like 6 a.m. there?
7.
Dude, it's priest. 7 a.m. Bobby Reynolds says hi, Rich.
Hello.
He didn't say hi to anybody else, just Rich.
I feel left out.
Rich is special.
Yeah.
Messed up, man. It's messed up. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about our favorite stuff, but I mean, I guess we could do a little quick rundown of the year of Godzilla 2023 because I think. What's up, man? I think 2023 was the year, for better or worse. I think Godzilla, did he go mainstream? I saw a old head, well-known Godzilla guy sort of lamenting the fact that Godzilla's gone mainstream.
Oh, I saw that
on Facebook the other day.
I saw that too.
But like, I was actually thinking about this last night, and I'm curious. Do you guys think? I mean, and I'm actually going to ask him because he lives in Japan, so I'm gonna reach out and ask Norman. But I mean, Godzilla's got to be more popular in the U.S. than in Japan, right? I mean,
you would think that Godzilla Minus One made 50 million here in the United States.
Yeah.
And Minus One, I think, made around like 23, 24 million before the Minus Color release.
Yeah, I think it made 80 worldwide and 50 of it's here.
Yeah, we're closing in on 100 million actually. So good stuff.
Yeah, so it made half its money here, but it's also been released in Europe and other countries too. So you got to figure half here, maybe a quarter other places, and then another quarter in Japan. I mean, I feel
Japanese
like
box office doesn't work the same way over there as it does here. Nothing ever makes as much money there.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, because I mean, if you look at like even like Shin Godzilla's numbers, and it was like wasn't it like the number one movie
in
Japan that year? And even that, you're like, well, it didn't really make that much, but
no, I think it made $1 million here in the United States, which was
oh yeah, I know.
Nothing to write home about.
Big Ken.
Hey Ken.
What up, Ken?
Big Ken, I'm wearing a throwback for you today. Probably be the last day I can wear any Eagles related gear with any sort of semblance of pride for the next 12 months.
I think something box office that's a mega success in Japan is still bomb territory over here. It's so different. Yeah.
So, like I said, I mean, this was a pretty big year. So to start the year off, what do we get? We got the Pluto Godzilla channel, the streaming channel, which Yeah, I think it's kind of taken a bit of a nosedive in the last month,
Yeah,
which is a
kinda
bummer.
sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
That
I still
stuff,
watch it, but I
that
mean,
stuff might come back to it though.
it might, but it just kind of sucks. I didn't really announce it or anything like that. I think like
Yeah.
Tokusatsu, whatever, like when they were losing stuff or whatever, they would announce it. But it seemed like Pluto's like, I mean, if we don't say nothing, no one will notice. But of course, the entire fandom almost shit their pants. So like, hopefully it comes back. I'm still watching. I watched it this morning, but kind of a bummer.
Well, they shit their pants because it's not like you can just go get these movies now. Where you're gonna find Godzilla versus King Ghidorah and Godzilla versus Mothra now.
Right.
Only to really see it, and now we're gonna have to wait and see what Janice does with them. They may end up back on Pluto. Like, I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, it's not even just that too, though, but it's the Gamera stuff. And like, I don't have a problem with them showing the Gamera movies, but like you pointed out multiple times, Mike, the quality of the movies.
They're bad.
I mean, picture-wise, I guess they're okay. I haven't paid a ton of attention.
Oh,
but like,
no, the picture in a lot of these is absolutely
bad?
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, the title cards are all screwed up. Like, why are they dubbed? Like, there's good quality subtitle versions.
This show
of
of films aren't even in the right aspect ratio.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing like the trilogy, but like if you're going to show the trilogy, I feel like you got to show those subtitled, man. Those movies are way too good for that anime crappy 90s dubbing that they have.
Why are they taking the credits off of these things and replacing them
so
with new
weird.
ones? Why are they doing
really
that?
Weird?
It's very bizarre. I'm wondering, like, I think Mike, you and I were talking. They must be some from like a company that like strips them down to nothing, and it's some weird loophole that you could show it. I don't know, but they're really bad quality. I actually turned them off, and I like Gamera Showa stuff a lot, but they were
I do too.
Bad.
See, what this reminds me of, Brian, and you would definitely know what I'm talking about.
Yep,
Remember
I know
when
exactly
Mystery
what you're going
Science
to say.
Theater showed Sea Monster and replaced the credits with, this is exactly what it. I think this is exactly what it is. It's the Film Ventures thing all over again.
Yeah, so when Mystery Science Theater would show certain movies, they would replace the title sequences with just completely other things from other movies. They did it with the 2 Godzilla movies. They did it with Pod People. They did it with like 3 or 4 movies. They did it with that Gregory Peck movie, with the Gene Hackman Gregory Peck Stranded in Space movie. So I wonder if Jupiter Entertainment is part of Pluto, because that would make sense.
That would make total sense.
That Pluto it's like their subsidiary or something. I don't have a problem even so much showing the Gamera movies, but I liked when I could turn it on and there was a Godzilla movie on. And now if you turn it on and they're in the middle of like this, if they're on the second of the Gamera movies, like you might as well just not, if you don't want to watch a Gamera movie, you might as well just not even turn the channel on for like 12 hours, 15
That's
hours.
how I felt about the Mothra trilogy. You turn it on and the first one's on, you're stuck with it for 6 hours.
Yeah, I would be so annoyed if I would turn it on and the Mothra trilogy was just starting. So I was like, well, I guess I'm not watching any Godzilla movies on Pluto.
But to the credit to this channel, I think, maybe not for all of us, but I know for me, that's what really got me back into Godzilla really hardcore this year, having something to watch all the time. And I feel like the first half of the year, I had a few toys and everything, but I wasn't like crazy into it. And then in July, when this channel started, I was watching it all the time. We were all talking about it. And I'm not going to give it all the credit, but I think it like really got some things started for people. Like everyone was watching it. People were excited.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it exists no matter what. Like if I turn it on, and I turn it on at least once or twice a day just to see what's on, and I'll just leave it on. That's the other thing. Like I'll read a book while it's on, like whatever. It's just like nice background noise to have. But I do wish they would get it back to where it was. I mean, they used to have a James Bond channel on Pluto back in the day. I used to love that channel. And then it would sporadically disappear for 6 or 8 months and it would come back and it would be gone again. And now it's just permanently gone. So I really hope this doesn't turn into that with this channel, because
what I think is happening is that Janice is getting a hold of all the Heisei films and all the Millenniums, but that's going to take a while. Until then, they're probably not going to let these stream, because I wouldn't be shocked if they want to release another DVD box set. And why have them streaming for free if you want to sell them later?
Yeah, I wonder. It's weird not to have any Godzilla movies in the Godzilla channel. I agree. First world problems, Christine.
Aren't the show ones are still there? Are they not?
Yeah, they're all there.
Yeah, the show ones.
But I think what the point she's making, though, is like the point I was making, which is if you get, if you're in the middle of those Showa Gamera movies, like I wish it was just a random assortment of movies. You know
At
what I
this
mean?
point,
Instead
it
of the
wouldn't bother
same
me at
loop
all.
over and
Yeah.
over and over and over again. I would prefer it to be like if I open up the guide to see, oh, they're after this Gamera movie, they're showing 2 Godzilla movies in a row, and then they're showing another Gamera movie. Something. I mean, there's got to be some way they could just randomize it. I would
Yeah.
think. I mean,
I don't see why
I had
they
every
couldn't.
Mystery Science Theater. Yeah, I mean, I had every Mystery Science Theater on a hard drive that I just literally hit shuffle on and left on for like 6 months one time. You know what I mean? So like, I'm pretty sure they could probably do it. So.
I will give the channel credit for this other thing too, though. Like my kid liked Godzilla before, but once this channel started, she was all about, let's see what's playing, let's see what's on. And since I just had to turn the TV on and it was there, she watched so much Godzilla this year, and she loves it so much more now than she ever did. So I really have to thank this channel for that too.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, dude, any Godzilla on TV, especially like the classic Godzilla stuff, like it's always good. It's always good. You know, if it's being presented like respectfully, which I think that channel does a pretty good job. So
Yeah.
The other big thing this year, Godzilla. I mean, there were multiple, but the U.S. Godzilla store launched in 2023, which was
That's something I'd say also, like Pluto, is not as exciting now as it was when it started. Because when it started, there was like a couple dozen Bandais, and now is like maybe
There's
2 or 3. And
Now shit's
like-
delayed.
yeah,
It's
like,
not-
yeah, a lot of stuff's been
uh,
delayed.
Yeah, it's the whatever Boggin's delayed and the Rose Biolante and a couple other
Yeah.
things. I got the email, so
I'm waiting on those.
yeah, and I could
Yeah,
have
I'm waiting on them.
now, so I probably won't order from the U.S. store anymore unless it's like an exclusive. But I doubt that's gonna happen.
I mean, it was nice when they started. All like the exclusives from the Godzilla store were there. All the metallic figures, everything was there. And now it's maybe 2 or 3 figures, if that. Now it's pretty paltry.
Yeah, I will say my Godzilla wardrobe has drastically increased since the Godzilla store opened up. Though I've bought probably like 4 or 5 shirts. I bought a sweatshirt.
How are those sizes? Are they J sizes? Are they American sizes?
Nah, they're good. They're right. Yeah, they're right.
American. I need like triple XL.
No,
I
in
want
fact, the XL. What is it? I bought an XL, the one with little Godzilla with the moon, where it's like the 3 little
yeah.
Godzilla faces in the moon.
Yeah,
And that
yeah.
shirt's I got an XL on that, and it's actually big on me. So
I want
you'll
the
be
Manda
fine.
sweater, but of course, that's one of the things that's out of stock. Of course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's so funny. That's such a random thing to be out of stock.
I think this site is going to be most successful as a place to go for apparel.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, I still check it once or twice a week. I haven't bought anything off of it in a while, but it's cool to have. It's cool to get the figures at the price that they are, which I mean would have been unheard of like 5
But
years
it's
ago.
not going to be the game changer I think we all thought it was back in November when we thought,
Yeah.
oh, G-Fest is going to be very different next year when you can get these things online for $20.
Yeah.
I guess not.
Although I will say, and I'm going to agree with Mark here, just buy them from Sean from Showcase because
Yep.
I think honestly I've gotten more Bandai's this past year from Sean than I did from anywhere else. I mean, his prices are really good and his shipping's fast, and so. And then you got Mr. Fresh Vinyl who bought more from the Japanese Godzilla store.
Yeah, I've actually for Bandai figures I picked up. What do I got coming? I got the 84. I picked that up. Amanda and and I forget there's a third one. But then I picked up earlier last month when they reissued Gorosaurus and Varan because I was scouring Yahoo Japan auctions, and both of those figures were going for like 80, 90, or 9,000 yen, give or take. Add the conversion and yada 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 for shipping. So as soon as I saw it listed on the Godzilla store on Instagram, they posted it. I went right away through Bai and bought them that way. It would have been cool if they were on the U.S. store. That would have made it a whole world of easier.
Yeah.
They would have been.
Yeah, I mean, just the ease of going onto a store and it's U.S. and the shipping's, you get it in like 3 days and all that. So, I mean, it's definitely, again, like we're eating good this year. Or, I mean, we were last year. I'm assuming it's going to carry over. And then, of course, we have Monarch, which, Nev, I know you weren't thrilled about.
I mean, like, okay, we can sit here and talk shit all day long, but does anyone else think it's like a dive in the middle? Like,
oh God,
that's why I stopped
Fucking
for now.
so, like, dive.
I don't hate the show. I just thought from what they were showing us, like those first 2 episodes, it took this nosedive to like these annoying kids that you could probably cut out of the show. It would have been great. And then it was that 7-minute, not even 3-minute amazing battle at the end. Like we deserve more, you know, like
yeah.
that was 10 hours. We wasted 10 hours of our life.
Yeah, I think it was 10 hours. I think they were told they had 10 hours to fill.
Yeah.
And they had 7 hours of content.
It was,
you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and that's a problem with a lot of shows like the Netflix superhero shows when they were doing those. Easily all could have been 3 episodes less than they were, most of those. So, and I think so. I liked the overall, like, first off, it's crazy to me, right, that we got a straight up big budget show with like an A-list actor about Godzilla and just this whole universe and the like lore that they've gotten into. And like when that show started, I was like, the first 2 episodes, I was like, there's no way they can ground this show in the reality that the MonsterVerse is in now.
No,
because it's so different. The 2014 Godzilla is so different than the 2024 Godzilla. I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to do it, and somehow they did it, and it made sense. I was like, how are they going to do the Hollow Earth in this continuity where you've got this super realistic Godzilla attack in San Francisco, and he's fighting somewhat realistic other monsters, and then it goes completely bonkers after that movie with the Hollow Earth and all the other stuff, and they totally did it, and I can't believe they did it so well. I will agree, man. The 4th episode and the 5th episode, especially the episode where they were in the snow and he was having flashbacks about the girl May. Like, first off, she can be gone. She sucks.
Yeah.
But like all the stuff after, like on my podcast, we talked about it, Gen X Lounge. We talked about after episode 5. I was like, man, I'm struggling to finish it. And I was at the point where I was kind of just like watching it out of like, I guess we need to watch the next episode.
That's how I was.
And then after like episode 7, though, I told my wife, I was like, dude, this show actually like improved. Like I thought I was like, I hate this. And to me, it like really did right the ship, especially the last episode. It's cool to see Godzilla like fight another original monster, even though the fight was short. It was still cool. That monster was cool. The way he attacked Godzilla, I thought was cool. Yeah, I thought that was all pretty cool stuff. So, the ending, Mike didn't see the ending, so we won't spoil it. But I'm surprised that how it ended with that specific kaiju.
Please,
being
people
there
already have posted photos and even video of the final episode. You could say what happens. It's not going to ruin it.
Well,
I'm not surprised they did that way. I was actually more surprised they didn't mention Serizawa like at all in the entire
at all. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, he basically was taking care of Monarch or whatever for how many years, and there was no mention. Like, not even like we had to go see the doctor, some sort of weird Easter egg. It was just like he didn't exist. That was another thing that kind of pissed me off of tossing.
Yeah, the only thing that he was brought up was when Kurt Russell said something about mocking, like, "Oh, what? Let him fight."
Yeah, that was it. But like, no one else
that was the
only that. You know, that was another thing that kind of irked me. But
yeah, unless that was like Serizawa's catchphrase. Like, how would Kurt Russell even know he said?
Right.
Serizawa just walking around Monarch offices all the time.
That's all he says. Like,
just saying it all the time. Yeah. But I mean, yeah. And how are they going to incorporate these characters into the ongoing movie universe? Like, I guess that's all to be seen. But it was, I mean, for what it was kind of like an X-Files-ish type show with Godzilla in it. I liked it, you know.
I wish it was more like the X-Files, where every episode was just covering a different kaiju back in like
different kaiju,
these whatever. But it seemed like not there, and then it went somewhere else, and whatever.
Yeah. Hello, Mexico City.
Hello, Mexico.
Rich, you have a question about your droopy King Ghidorah. Why is he droopy?
So weird. Like, I see different questions from what you see. I honestly think it's because, so I had to move him. So he's over here. He was where Hedorah was because I got a vent right on the floor over there that sends wonderful hot air up. So that might be a reason why. So it's definitely drooping. So I'm going to use my handy dandy little hair dryer and see if what I can do with that. But first world problems.
So yeah, Monarch was another big one. And then obviously -1, which we talked about, for 2 hours in that one episode, a couple episodes back. If you haven't seen it, go back. It's in, yeah.
The movie that shamed Hollywood.
Yep.
It did. The movie that's fighting against the woke Hollywood kaiju agenda. -1. Nothing woke in that movie. Jesus Christ. So that movie's awesome. It's in the contenders for Best Picture. If that movie gets nominated for Best Picture, I will be so unbelievably obnoxious for like 2 weeks. Like, I don't even care if it wins.
Maybe Best Visual Effects, it might have a shot at being nominated for.
Oh, it's not going to win Best Picture over Oppenheimer. But the fact that if it gets nominated, like a Japanese Godzilla movie nominated for an actual Academy Award for Best Picture, in and of itself would be the most insane thing
That's why they won't do it
in my entire life. Yeah,
That's
it would be
why they
so. It would
absolutely
be
won't
so crazy, dude.
I will be hoarse for a week from screaming at random people that it's awesome.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
Just to see it on the Blu-ray cover, Oscar nominee. Will be fucking awesome.
And it'll get a re-release probably to theaters, and it'll probably get a fairly I would think they'd put some actual like marketing behind putting actual commercials for it, like on TV and things, because for as good as it's done, like I still haven't ever seen an actual commercial.
That's how crazy that is. There's no like paid marketing for this other than
word of mouth is all it really needed.
Absolutely nuts. Fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy because if you think about it, word of mouth really did, like, it made, it's going to make 50 million, or it already has made 50 million here, and it's 90% of it's like word of mouth.
And all of that money is profit. It didn't even have to make any money to be profitable over here.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, which leads me to a question that I'll ask maybe closer to the end of this to you, Mike, when you get to your number one collectible of the year, because I do have a question regarding that. And then, of course, the last thing, 2023, well, not the last thing, but another big, I guess, thing that got people talking was the X-Kong trailer. And, you have people on
the
both
fandom's
sides
reaction to it.
Yeah. Look, to me, like, more Godzilla is always good. It's obviously, the MonsterVerse is not trying to do the same thing that Toho is trying to do. And I think it's fine. I think, I grew up with superhero 70s Godzilla. I think a lot of us on this stream probably did. I'm fine with it being silly. It looks really, really silly. I will be there opening night. I will probably enjoy it just like I enjoyed the other ones in the series.
They moved up the date. They moved up the release date.
Yeah, they moved it up to March 29th now, I think.
Yep.
I guess the big question is, how is it going to do? Because that's a big factor. And
I have a feeling it's going to do good. I have a feeling it's going to do good because he's already in the consciousness way more than he was. I mean, for the last one, I mean, it was released streaming and theater simultaneously, right? Because it was still the plague time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's probably nothing else coming out within a couple of weeks around that I haven't looked, but I would be. I mean, it's March. It's not generally a big blockbuster.
I mean, it's not a superhero movie, and I think people are just in general super.
I'm superheroed out anyway, and I love superhero.
Yeah, so I think this will be a nice refresher of the CJ monsters beating the piss out of each other. I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And when Godzilla versus Kong came out, theaters and streaming on HBO, I believe it was HBO.
Yeah, man.
That was like, I think, the biggest movie post-pandemic or during the pandemic.
Yeah,
I remember correctly. That did good numbers, streaming numbers, and box office numbers, considering the state of the movie industry at the time.
Yeah.
People wanted something to see.
Yep.
Cool, man. So a lot of good stuff to look forward to this year. So, having said that, let's look back at some stuff we got last year. So keep in mind that this is not the best. This is not the best stuff that came out last year. This is just our favorite stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I understand, like, my favorite Godzilla movies are the 70s Godzilla movies. I would never argue with someone that those are the best Godzilla movies. So this is
I
this
might.
is our personal. Yeah, I mean,
I might.
you can argue it, but this is like our personal best. So in the comments, if you want to drop in your favorites, we'll get to them as we go. Like just whatever you picked up this year. I know there was a lot of good stuff that came out this year. So Nev, I know you said you were kind of on a time crunch. So what I was thinking was, if you have any honorable mentions, we can maybe go around, do our honorable mentions first, and then do like 3, 2, 1. Go around, everybody do 3, everybody do 2, everybody do 1. So Nev, I'll let you kick it off if you have any honorable mentions you want to discuss.
I didn't buy a whole lot of new shit this year. Just I've been focusing way more on vintage stuff. But I think from like a runner-up would be the maquette Bandai they did.
Okay, yeah,
it's a really cool idea. I don't think it was executed the best. I think the paint's kind of lackluster, but it's just the fact that we got a maquette soft vinyl from like a larger toy company. I thought was really cool. It was really different. I would love to see them do a storyboard in 2024, but that's just me wishing. But the maquette was pretty nice. It was a nice surprise. I don't think anyone saw that coming. That would be my honorable mention.
Nev, I think Bandai is going to go insane this year, so I think it's very likely you might get something like that. Because
storyboard would be fucking awesome.
They're going to go ape
storyboard would
year,
be awesome.
I know
it.
Yeah. But they're doing new things. They're the Rose Biollante and a couple other so like they're going into the vault and picking shit out. Especially with now Mondo doing the Gabra soft vinyl. Like who knows? We're gonna get a Gabra Bandai that would blow people's minds too.
Well, Nev, remember Bandai, the current Godzilla poll is all Showa.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the top 5 that gets voted on. So that could be Gabra. That could be Kamakiris.
Yep.
Who the hell knows how that's going to end?
Yeah.
So Bandai this year is going to be nuts.
It'll be exciting.
Yeah, it is actually pretty awesome. Rich, how about you? You got any honorable mentions?
I clearly I bought too much shit, this year. That's not all of it. Just quick, this is what my dining room table looks like right now. That's all different shit downstairs. And I got another box coming. So it was kind of hard to pick out honorable mentions. So really, I think these ones speak for themselves. I picked up 2 of these guys, tagged and antenna up, because my original one got damaged in a move. So that's my honorable mention. I'd be sitting here rambling too long. Everything else behind me is an honorable mention. So I'll just leave it at that.
Cool. My honorable mentions. I got a few. The first one I'll mention is just because it's cool that they actually did it. Would be this the screenplay or the actual stories, the novels for the original Godzilla and Godzilla Rage Again. That's pretty cool. I mean, what are the chances this would have ever gotten published in English? So that's pretty cool. This guy I really loved, Godzilla 73 Bandai. I think he's awesome. This guy I liked quite a bit. He has his flaws, but I did like him. I think Super 7's slowly but surely improving. And then this dude I loved, the Mondo Space Godzilla. Just like an incredible Sofubi piece. Who would have thunk it that they would have put out they put out a bunch of really nice stuff, and they have a bunch of really nice stuff coming. So that's cool. How about you, Mike?
I bought more this year than I have in a long time, but mostly Bandai though. Because I'm a Bandai guy, so I would say my runner-up would just be this Ibra. Just because I just never expected Bandai to finally do one. I think when that was announced, that was the moment I realized that Bandai this year was going to be doing some really cool shit. And probably into this year, like I said, we're probably going to get a lot of cool shit like this. And it's just, people ragged on it when it came out, but I think it's a really awesome toy.
It's a great sculpt. I mean, the paint's light, but it's pretty damn suit accurate. I think that's a solid toy too.
I think a lot of the promo shots made it look a lot shittier than it actually was.
Agreed.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
looks better in person.
This is absolutely Ibra. There's like no corners cut here. You know what this is.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah, I actually like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Big fan of the shrimp.
There was so much Bandai this year. It was hard to. It was kind of hard to keep up.
They really overdid it.
Uh-huh.
I can't imagine trying to buy everything Bandai. I know some people try, but just way too much shit. Well,
right,
Rich is rebuying his collection, so that's why.
I know.
I'm not going after them all. Like, I'm not going after all the 6-inch stuff, just specific ones. Even like the new shit, like there's those repainted retros of Godzilla or Gigan Jaguar, the Hedorah paint schemes. I'm not getting them all.
Well, stuff like Monster X and Kaiser Ghidorah, like those came out this year, and people rejected those pretty hardcore.
Yeah, those are just bad. That's why I went back
really bad. I didn't get those. Yeah.
No, my Bandai collecting is like, you can't do it all. There's a lot. Like that Ibira, I kind of looking at yours. I do kind of wish I had picked that up. If I can find him.
Somebody sent me this for free as a Christmas present. It's
okay. Yeah.
It's yeah.
If it was Showa.
I mean, the legs are backwards.
That's so funny.
Like, it's not a great toy, but you know,
backwards.
Is it meant
Are they
to
sculpted backwards?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Oh wait, they are sculpted. You can't even remove them.
I was gonna say, can you pop them off? What?
No, nothing moves. Nothing moves on this toy. It's just Final Wars Manda.
That is so funny.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, I got that. It's not great, but dragons are cool, so it's
I wouldn't pay for it, but you know, someone gave it to me for free, so why not?
It wasn't that expensive. I think that's why I snagged it.
Like what, $12 if that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
the one that I got,
That's
I think
so
that's what I paid for it.
Yeah.
All right, Nev, what is your number 3 of the year?
Oh man, I forgot what I fucking sent you, dude. Hang on, let me go back to my.
I can. I don't want to spoil it, but I can flash them all on the screen.
Yeah, just flash them all on the screen. Screw it. We'll just do that. I can't dig through my stuff.
All right, so we got these.
So these were really awesome. I don't know if anyone's a fan of like the Keshi stuff from back in the day. The Keshi's based like a small eraser. You've seen them all with the candy toys from Godzilla from over the years, from like 60, 70 days. They did some more Keshi figures. They did the Shin Godzilla. They did Shin Ultraman, and they did Shin Kamen Rider. This set is the Shin one. I thought it was really cool because I didn't think I'd ever get a Keshi Shin Godzilla, especially within all 3 forms. There was blue, pink, white, and I think yellow. They did the colors for all of them. It's a really cool set. It was moderately priced, like $15, $10, something like that. Just remind me of them back in the day when you put a quarter in a machine and get a muscle figure or whatever. This is exactly what those are. So that was mine.
How tall or how big are they?
They're small, man. They're like, they're really tiny. They're smaller than Battle Beasts. I mean, they're really small.
Okay. They're like see figures like this. They remind me of when you would go to the dentist and you would get to pick something out of the basket. Yeah. And it would always be
great stuff fillers, man. I mean, I've been buying a lot of the smaller stuff too, just to fill gaps, because we all know those gaps are kind of ugly. So Keshi ones figure it out. So the Ultraman ones are good too. I did not buy Kamen Rider because that film sucked.
I used to love going to the supermarket at Mitsuwa back when it was Johan Plaza and just getting those kind of toys in candy boxes for like $1 or $2. I have a whole bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're cool. I could totally understand wanting to collect those now.
Yeah, cool. I have been a lot. They're just very fun. They're cheap. Again, shelf fillers, and they're not gonna warp or come broke.
Yeah.
I've been collecting these to fill gaps, and they look cool on the shelf next to especially next to X Plus. You can get them at the dollar store. They're like these little.
Yeah, I got some of those. Yeah,
and they're cool because they're sort of in scale with the X Plus stuff. So I just kind of stick them next to my X Plus figure. Yeah. Those are kind of cool. All right, Rich, how about you? Number 3 purchase of 2023.
Yeah, if you could just throw up whatever you have for me. I don't even know if I...
Did you send me anything? You didn't send me anything.
Oh, you didn't get them? That's okay.
I
swear I did. Yeah, they're in our text chat. But that's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It was right after... It was before Mike sent his Anguillus and Gauss photo. But that's okay.
Oh, no way. All right.
No, it's fine. I procrastinated, so I'll just hold it up like this. Nope, that ain't gonna work. All right, that kind of works.
Kinda.
So this is no random order. The T-Base Hedorah from Wonderfest from last summer. The favorite Sculptus line X Plus Destroyer aggregate badass figure. The Mondo I mean, they're right behind me anyways. I'd probably do that better, but this is just whatever. The Mondo Cherry Blossom Space Godzilla, and then the 2 T-base Godzilla 64s. This group of Bandai figures, the 55s, the not Mothra back there, she's just back there flying. The theater exclusive -1 in Hedora. And then I blame this figure and I blame Mike because when you posted this on
yeah,
GCG,
man, that figure's awesome.
I'm not sorry.
like this figure. No, but I blame you, but I thank you because this figure lit a Bandai fire under my ass, like back 20 years ago when I started going crazy on eBay. So these are my favorite figures of the year. You know, I know it's hard for me to do like a top list, but those are mine. I dig them.
All right. Let's see. Oh God, hang on. Having a brain fart. There we go. Get out of there. Okay. Mike, you want to just do your third, or you want to do?
Yeah.
Because I know you have more. Yeah, go ahead and do your third.
Okay. So my third, I know you have a picture of it. It's the Gauss that came out this year.
Gauss.
There we go. And part of it, you know, it's a cool figure, but I just love Gauss that much. So when this came out, I was so excited for it. I was all over GCG. Like, you think they're going to post pictures of it soon? I want to see what it looks like. And I was just so fucking hyped for it. And I just love this toy. I mean, I don't know many people who buy the Gamera stuff, but I just think it looks cool. I love the original Bandai Gauss, and I think this one's even better. And I don't know. I just love it. I don't have too much to say about it except for the fact that it's like, I don't know, my number 3.
Yeah, it's a good figure.
Yeah.
I mean, like your personal favorite figures don't need to be, don't need to be like the most amazing. You know,
back is nice.
Just what you like.
I don't know if I bought that one. I thought I did, but it's probably somewhere.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it looks. I thought they were going to do a lot more the show of Gamera figures, but they haven't announced anything, so maybe not. But
maybe they're not big sellers.
Maybe since Gamera Rebirth, I heard didn't really make a splash in Japan. That's probably the end of it.
Yeah.
The anime stuff was good, man.
Yeah, that was the anime. My number 3 is a Bandai as well. It's this guy here. I like him. I thought he was really good. I thought, from a detail standpoint, he's really well sculpted. He's nicely painted. I just really liked him. He's like a little X Plus figure. I dig him. I think he's really cool. So that's my third. Let's see. We got a ton of comments. Let me go see what do we got here. Let's see. Kaiju Haiku picked up Deferrail Megalon and paid $200 for it on eBay. I have no complaints. It's awesome. Yeah, I never got into the Deferrails, although they are awesome looking. I will agree with that. Big Ken X Plus 74 Godzilla and the Mezco Godzilla versus Mecha Godzilla. Man, that Mezco set is really cool. I reviewed that. I really like it. And his overall favorite will be near and dear to Mike, which I think we'll be discussing in more detail later, is those 4K releases. Picked up my first X Plus this week, 1991 Closed Mouth.
2015 figure of the year.
Yeah, that was a really nice one. Let's see. Super 7's Destroyer. Yeah, that's a good one. Dustin the Zilla, the Haya Godzilla versus Kong Godzilla. I haven't messed with any of those Hayas, but they all do look nice.
People swear by the Hayas.
Yeah.
Like, over Monster Arts. People are just
they're
really loving those toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they do look nice. Kaiju Haiku also picked up the Rick Varan. What was with the Rick? What was the extra thing? The little Baradagi emblem or something? What came with the Rick?
Yeah, the statue.
The little statue?
Yep.
Yeah. Mark Rodriguez been collecting small Bandai and Yutaka toys.
Those are fun.
Yeah. What does that say? Oh. Kenton, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Oh, he said I.
Hi.
I too.
Hi,
Hello, guys.
Kenton. All right, Nev, back to you, man. What was your second?
I think you got the picture of the one I actually sent you, but the
Oh yeah. You sent me the wrong
Super
picture.
7 skeleton Godzilla, that like little mini diorama.
Oh yeah,
That's really cool. Yeah, that guy. It's just a badass package design, and the figures like embedded into the design. We don't get a lot of skeleton Gojis, obviously, but I thought this was really well done. The little Omaki Octa Destroyer is awesome too. Like moderately priced for $25. It's just something different and fun. It's awesome to display too. So this was definitely up there.
Yeah, it's really cool. Did you leave it in the box?
I did.
Yeah, that's probably how I would do it too. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool figure, man.
Yeah, that is cool. Rich, you just kind of did all yours, huh?
I did. I realized after I finished I wasn't paying attention and I did not understand the assignment, so I'm sorry.
You fail.
Yep.
That is why you fail.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rich, you just give commentary on everybody else's stuff.
There you go.
All right. How about you, Mike? What was your second favorite?
Wow.
You got this year.
Oh, sorry.
What?
Commentary.
That would be the Angulus, the 55. We've all talked about that already. I showed it off last time we did this. I don't really know if I have to go into too much detail now, but it's like a little X Plus, like you said. Bandai must have figured out, the adult collectors want really nice toys of the Showa stuff, and they're shitting the bed on the Millennium figures like Kaiser Ghidorah, but all the Showa stuff has been pretty amazing, and they've been doing a lot of cool shit. I mean, landing, crawling, and flying Heteras, a new Minya, and 55 Godzilla and Anguillus, and they went ahead and retooled the 55 Godzilla. Like, they clearly know what their audience is for these older characters, and they're actually trying. So I feel like things like the Varan and the Ibra were like tests to see like how this stuff would sell. And now they're like they realize Showa means money to some degree. I mean, yeah, I know like the younger fans in Japan want Heisei, so that's where Monster Arts is going. But I think the Bandai collectors, generally the hardcore ones, are generally the older people, the older collectors. And I think they finally figured out, okay, we really have to cater to this crowd. Let's actually try. And that's where
people with disposable incomes.
And that's where this Anguillus comes from. It's like, it's a beautiful toy. And for the price, come on, you can't go wrong.
I just want to piggyback on that. Catering to any group of us collectors, what's awesome is that we're still getting Heisei figures. Like Super Mecha Godzilla. All right. Kaiser Ghidorah Monster X, those are Millennium.
Fire Rodan,
Mothra, and Batra adult figures. So there's something out there for everybody, which is freaking awesome. But the Showa stuff is shining, like you said. So it's nice to see that Bandai is paying attention to all areas of their market. So good time.
Yep.
And I mean, Batra came out this year too. Like you said, I mean, I don't like this. This is cheap. Don't like it, but it's still a cool little toy.
That paint would have brought it up another 2,000 yen. So,
oh yeah, heaven forbid.
Yeah.
My second place figure of the year, and I think it came in just under the wire because it came out very early in 2023, was the Mondo Biollante. I got both the there's 4 total versions,
something like that.
Mondo,
more for the sculpt. I mean, the paint, obviously on the rose blossom, the cherry blossom one is, it's fine. The paint on this one though is freaking beautiful. Sculpt is beautiful. It's so crazy that this is an American company that's knocking these out of the park because they're really beautiful figures. So that would be my second place figure for the year 2023.
Speaking of Mondo, when and if that Gabbara comes out, it's going to be a real try getting one of those. Everyone's going to want that.
Yeah, I find with the Mondo stuff, if I I'll set an alarm for like 5 minutes before they drop them, and then I usually don't have a problem. I haven't generally had a problem grabbing one. It seems like early on there were like bots would buy them all up right away.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've kind of fixed that or
Seems
but
like
it doesn't. It's not like it used to be, you know.
Yeah, it seems like they've been delaying some stuff too, like that Rodan. They keep doing variants, but the first ones haven't shipped yet. So I'm curious how that's going to pan out.
I'm curious to see what the pricing is on that Gabra because it looks like it's going to be a set.
I think it's both. I thought they said it was going to be a set. So who knows?
Hey,
hi, Alex.
Waiting for the Mondo. Yeah, the Mondo Rodan looks really nice. There's a bunch of different painted versions. I got the more basic brown one. I'm kind of kicking myself, but I don't want to double dip on it. You got the brown one too?
Yeah, it just looks. I don't know. It looks kind of how it's supposed to look. So I wasn't too keen on like the wacky variants. I got the Rose Biolante too, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I don't like it. But the sculpt is awesome.
The Rose Biolante, if I was gonna, I mean, I don't know. I've gone back and forth. Like, do I need both of these? And if I decide I don't, that would be the one I would get rid of. Would be the Rose one. The other one, the paint on the other one is so crazy good.
Yeah.
Nev, what about your third favorite?
I sent you the wrong picture, but I'll just get it so we can talk shit on it.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. All
right, so this is my third. So it's the new RC version, right? Like this just reminds me of what it was back in the day to go buy a Godzilla toy in Toys R Us or Children's Place or whatever. Like it literally walks. It has a giant roar shit. The sculpt is actually pretty badass. That's better.
It's pretty big. I thought it was small.
No, it's a big figure, dude. You know, for $60, it's pretty nice. He put like water in his head and the steam comes out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool figure. Like whether you want to shit on design or not, that's fine. But I can walk into a store, spend $60 and get a remote control Godzilla that lights up, screams, and breathes down the fire. It's going to be on my list.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Well, here I'm going to say, congrats on being able to walk into a store and get it because I can't go to any Target within a 50 square mile radius of me and find anything Godzilla related. I was thinking, and I still might after we're done here today.
Brian, you're saying you can walk into a Walmart or a Target and buy Godzilla stuff? Why is no one posting about that on GCG?
I know, but I mean, I can't find them anywhere, and it's not just Godzilla stuff. I mean, it's anything like that I collect. Like when I was collecting the Masters Universe Origins figures, like I cannot find anything. I don't know if people in my Targets are like employees are buying them and posting them on eBay or whatever, or people just know like the delivery schedules and are getting in there super early and buying stuff. But I cannot find anything in any of my Targets. Like Nev, I may hit you up after this, and if you can find me one of them RC ones, I would just pay you and have it. You ship.
I got two of them. If I find another one, I'll snag it because I'm probably gonna open one and leave in the box. But I think just toy companies in general, especially in the United States, have taken a massive hit over this year. Hasbro had some layouts. I think Mattel's doing it too. So you're just going to see the toys not be so rampant on shelves anymore. Distribution sucks.
My Targets
really does.
My Targets always look like a bomb went off in them.
Yeah,
like there's never anything in them.
Have you guys seen what these MonsterVerse figures are going for on Yahoo Japan?
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's insane.
That's probably what.
Triple the cost.
Yeah.
And yet,
that's part of the problem.
Yet in 2 months, no one will be talking about them. It's just every time a new MonsterVerse film comes out, the Targets and Walmarts get all this stuff. People go crazy, buy it all, and then by spring, when the film actually comes out, and all the Haya and Monster Arts and Bandai stuff gets released, everyone's going to be like, "Oh yeah, these were fun for a while." It's every year.
Yeah.
But if you enjoy them, buy them, enjoy them.
Yep, that's me. I think they're great. You guys see the Kong in the stores? It's actually a really badass sculpt. The battle room is pretty nice. It's got the hair and everything. But yeah, if you see him, we're picking up one or two.
But people are buying whole cases of those, whatever those things are, those egg things.
Oh,
I have no idea. But people are buying whole cases of those, and it's just people are filling up their shopping carts. It's deja vu every year. Every time a MonsterVerse film comes out, it's people just rush to the Walmarts, fill up their carts, and everyone else complains about the scalpers.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's either MonsterVerse or those Stanley Cups at Target. You fucked either way.
Stanley Cups.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Rather have the toy.
It would just be cool to be able to just walk into a store and see the stuff on the shelves, even if I didn't want to buy any of it. You know what I mean? So, and
that's why I picked up the Bandai Hedorah, the movie monster series Final Wars. I walked into I forget what it was. It wasn't Newberry Comics up here. It was some novelty store. Yeah, and I was like, holy shit, Bandai movie monster series on a shelf. I mean, I've seen them before in like comic book shops, but like I wasn't ready to see newer stuff. So I was like, I had to buy it. I'm like, this is
I
exciting.
know FYE has a lot of that stuff. If you have an FYE near you, honestly, it's worth checking. If you have an FYE near you, they have a ton of stuff.
Section.
Like, yeah.
There are none around me, and you'd think I'd have at least a couple, but there are none.
Yeah.
No FYEs on Long Island, apparently.
I'm sorry.
I know, I'm mourning.
A funny little thing happened to me with the MonsterVerse, some of the MonsterVerse stuff that I had, because I had collected some stuff from the previous movies. There was a mom in our community page on Facebook, in my town's community page, who was like, my son got the letter G for show and tell, and he really wants Godzilla. Does anybody have anything Godzilla? Because they couldn't find anything for him. And I got tagged like 65 times in this post. So I reached out to her and I was like, I sent her some pictures of my collection. I posted a couple pictures of my collection in the page. People were like, oh my God. So, I reached out to her and I was like, when is this show and tell? And she's like, it's tomorrow. And I was like, I have some stuff. And she's like, well, stuff for him to borrow? And I was like, dude, I'll just make him up a box. So I just I had some of those little tiny, I don't even know what you call them. Whatever. I had a bunch of these little figures, and I had I had a Godzilla and Kong MonsterVerse figure. I had a King Ghidorah and a Rodan. I just threw them all in a box and gave it to him. He was so friggin' excited. He was like, I think he was 5. So I was like, dude, you gotta help the little guy. Like I told the mom, I was like, dude, I had no Godzilla toys when I was 5. Like, I'll happily hook this kid up with a couple. Like, I couldn't even buy. Like, there were none to buy. You know what I mean? So I thought that was me doing my part. You got to help the people. All right. So Rich, you already did yours. My number 1 is, surprisingly, this guy here, the Super 7 Destroyer, whatever you want to call him. Yeah. So I did not expect to like this guy as much as I did. I figured he'd probably be all right. The the Rose Violante and the Godzilla 89 were like the first 2 figures I ever looked at when I started my channel. And I still don't think they're great, but I really like this guy, man. The more I played with him as I was reviewing him, the more I started liking him. And he's just cool, man. And he's big. He's like a hefty boy. He's got some weight to him. I feel like he's built pretty well. Like, nothing's, I know when I was in the video, his head popped off and his tail popped off. But I mean, once I got him on there, and it is a bitch getting him on there. But once I got him on there, it's on. The only thing I had an issue with was, like I said, some of the ball joints are kind of unsightly. But I mean, for an American company to have put this out, and it's really, really nice, and you could definitely get some cool, poses and make a cool diorama or something with him. That's definitely my number 1 figure that I purchased this year.
Cool.
Yeah. So he's cool. I'm probably done with that line. Honestly, I don't think I'm getting anything else. If they started doing maybe some Showa stuff, I'd dip in, but I think I'm done with the.
I don't know. The -1 they're doing looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all. I'm going to wait and see. The Mecha Godzilla that I got, I'm actually probably going to put up for sale. I think I'll probably keep the Rose Violante and the 89 just because the Rose Violante is not like a common figure that you really see very often. So I'll keep that one.
Space Godzilla and Mogera don't look anything special, honestly.
No, I definitely don't. I'm not giving up shelf space for those. So
no.
Yeah. So
is that as far as they've announced? Did they announce anything else after those guys?
I think
besides -1?
Yeah, that was it. That was the last.
Just
one.
-1.
That's not coming out till like December, which is like.
Yeah. I wonder if they have the rights to only the Heisei stuff too, because they've pretty much covered that whole series at this point.
No, they got
so
the Showa is all reaction toys, so they have the rights to those too. But I was hearing someone say like they don't think the Showa would sell as well if they made ultimates of them. So it's cheaper just to do reactions.
I'd probably, maybe it's for the best they don't then in that case. Yours looks badass. Any other photos of I see it looks meh. I mean, I didn't do anything special with the photos. I mean, they're just, obviously I had my lights that I use for when I film reviews on him. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he looks how he looks. I think he's cool. The paint on his teeth is a little messy, but otherwise, so that leaves Mike with his number one, and I know he's got. Well, I'll just let Mike go. Mike, what is your number one?
It's funny. We were talking about the Bandais and how Bandai realized there was money to be made for the Showa stuff, and the collectors are going to pay money for these, and they should actually try. Obviously, my number one are the 4K Blu-rays, and what I think is so awesome about these is the fact that, look at them. What are there? 7 of them there. 6 of them are Showa films. And when you go back, like I did, and I bought the DVDs when they came out, I bought the Blu-rays when they came out. Movies like Godzilla vs. Hedorah and Godzilla and Destroy All Monsters, I should say, were like some of the very last releases. Here, these are some of the very first films getting remastered in 4K, getting re-released on UHD. And the love these movies are being shown by Toho right now is amazing. I mean, only 2 non-Showa films are have even been released on 4K. One is Biollante, the other is 84, and that one's only been shown on premium TV. There's no Blu-ray release set for it yet. And Megalon, that one came out recently, but it's not on UHD yet. But these are such amazing releases because 2 things mainly. The restorations are incredible. I mean, if you think the versions that have been airing on Pluto or were on the Criterion set look nice, this is a completely different ballgame. Brian, I know I sent you a few pictures that I did steal off the internet because I can't take screen caps of this stuff. That's from Hedorah. I mean, look at that.
It's gorgeous. That's
just amazing. Look at the hand. You can finally tell he really has a bone hand on there. Like there's no mistaking it. The image is crystal clear. Reference quality of that suit. What else did I send you? Look at that. This is Ghidorah always looked like ass, like the film prints always did. And finally, the colors are beautiful. Blue skies, green grass. I mean, you can see all the details of these monster suits.
You can see the whole that there's a small little village.
You can see
the
the
debris, of all the little houses. Yeah, it's really crazy. The quality of that.
You can see the color. Look at this. Look at Ghidorah's face. I mean, look at the teeth. Look at the eyes. I mean, you can actually tell he's been beaten up a bit. This is from Destroy All Monsters, where the suit was a little worn out, and you can see that. But I think it's really cool to like just look at the teeth. Look at the color.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, you can see the strands of hair, like the individual strands of hair in his mane.
At this point, I'm sure people who made toys were referencing books and stuff, but at this point, you can use screen caps of these movies to reference color and how the suits were painted, and just it's amazing. And obviously the drawback is these discs are 6,000 yen. And I know that the yen is a little weaker to the dollar, which is good, but shipping's still a bitch.
What's that, $50 about for each?
40 some odd.
40 something? I mean, okay.
And they are available on Blu-ray too, the same prints, but if you're gonna spend the money, you might as well just go full HD. And of course they're not subtitles, so people are blowing these off, and I get it. I get it. But I think it's gonna be a very long time before these prints show up over here, if they ever do. So
that's my question. Remember I said I had a question.
Yeah.
And we were going to get to it when you do your thing. So at the beginning, we kind of said it feels like Godzilla is probably more popular in the US than he is in Japan. So what would be the reason for Japan not to just subtitle these and put them out in the US?
There's a couple of reasons.
Is it a thing, or is it they don't care, or?
Well, first of all, I mean, there's barely an English population in Japan. What is it, like maybe 1-2%? They're not going to subtitle the films if the people buying them just don't speak English. But I think that's the cop-out answer. I think the real answer, and people have said this, is if they subtitle these things, people are going to be much more inclined to import them. The main reason people keep saying they're not going to is because they're not subtitled. But if Toho
what I'm saying is, why don't they just release them in the US?
Oh, because Toho makes so much more money on licensing fees. I mean, if Janus decides to license these from Toho, they make more money that way
than just selling them directly to the American public.
I don't think. Does Toho even have like a?
That's what I want. Do they have the? Are they set up in this country to even sell them?
I think if they could, they probably would have by now.
There's got to be some reason.
It probably costs more money to make them if they had Janus or somebody make their shit, and then Janus would just cut them a check for the rights to use them. That's why it's an investment to subtitle and all that kind of stuff. And look at the Shin Ultraman DVD. That thing's been a shit show. Like the translations were awful. Then they pulled it. Then they were going to do it. And they got pulled again. So it's not easy to do and do it well. I mean,
Toho would have to market them here. They would have to release them here. They'd have to
a lot of money
localize them here. Janus is not only picking up all the Godzilla films. They apparently have a ton of 60s and 50s Toho films as well. They're just sitting on Mysterians, Dogora, Frankenstein Conquers the World. Now they're going after all the Heisei and Millennium films. That is a lot of money for Toho. Just let Janus pay them to get a hold of all this stuff. Yeah. And when the sets come out, that's just even more money for Toho. It's much simpler than doing it themselves. And they're not going to let these 4K prints out of Japan right now. They're going to keep them pretty exclusive, at least not until all of them come out. And that's going to be a while still. Although I think they're going to release everything next fall. By the 70th, I think they're going to put out all the rest of them, which is going to be, that's going to be tight on me, but I intend to pick them all up. But the other thing that makes these amazing are the special features, and I know I sent you some photos of those. Obviously, I can't screenshot these because I don't have any way of doing that, so I just point my phone at the TV and take a picture. So this is the first time Toho's truly digging deep into their archives for special features. Before, there were maybe a couple of trailers, there were these illustrated children's books, and there were 8mm like home movie versions of the films. Those are nice, but it's not behind the scenes or like true archive stuff. But with these releases now, the trailers are the original trailers, the textless trailers, export trailers, Champion Festival trailers. Brian, keep that one on for now. This is a very quick behind the scenes shot from Destroy All Monsters, taken up on the rafters of Mando wiggling over to the monorail. It blew my mind when I saw that. Go back a bit to the one you were just showing. This is a Toho theater. This is actual home movie footage of them. There's a huge line down the street of people waiting to get in to see Mothra versus Godzilla. Was there another one that I had sent you from Mothra versus Godzilla?
No, I've got this one. Got a few hetero ones, and I've got a Destroy All Monsters.
Oh, not the one with Yuriko Hoshi standing with Tomoyuki Tanaka?
Oh, I do recall seeing that, but I don't have it up here.
Okay, no big deal.
I can search.
It's fine.
My feelings.
You know them to be true, Brian. You can go to the other stuff then. It's fine.
Here it is.
I just want people to see this stuff because how else are you going to see it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty awesome. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah, they have some home movie footage of the shooting of the ending when the main characters go to the island to save the kids. You see Yuriko Hoshi, Koizumi, and Takarada just hanging out, laughing with each other, smoking cigarettes. Tanaka shows up, and she's hanging out with him, shaking his hand. It's just so amazing to see all these actors and Tanaka hanging out like this while shooting the movie, just shooting the shit, smoking cigarettes, laughing together. And
it's pretty awesome.
You think you've seen everything there is to see from these movies because at this point, you'd think it'd be on releases by now. And there's this. This is not a photograph. Well, it is because I took a picture of it, but you know what I mean. This Destroy All Monsters group shot is everywhere. You see it in all books. It's on the old Bandai tags. It's from a photo shoot. They invited a bunch of kids to Toho to say hi to them, say hi to the monsters, take pictures of them with the children. And all we've ever seen for decades is just the photos. This disc has the actual film footage, which is awesome because for the first time, we can see Baragon walking around, hanging out with Godzilla, Anguillus, Minya, and Baragon, moving around, swinging his arms. And we've never seen that because all we've heard is the suit's been in terrible shape. They could barely use it. All we saw were these photographs, but now we have this special feature. It's only a couple of minutes where Baragon's just hanging out. Godzilla's hugging Minya. Minya's dancing around. And the kids are eating this up. There's one little boy who's losing his shit over this. And it's so cool to finally see this stuff. And I don't know if it's ever going to be released over here. It might just always be exclusive to the Japanese discs, but it's nice someone in Toho finally said, let's put some really cool stuff on this discs. Let's give people something they want to really pay for. And
that little boy grew up to be Rich Iso.
Yes. Oh, here we go. Satsuma in the Hedorah suit, actual footage in HD that was filmed for a television something when Godzilla vs. Hedorah came out. So there's footage of him in the suit. He's smiling. He's enjoying what he's doing. And it's funny, the disc came out right around the time we learned he had passed away. So seeing him there was like a little bit of a gut check there. And there's Godzilla, there's actual behind the scenes footage of filming this scene of Godzilla holding the orbs, breathing his fire, the smoke coming out, the electrodes lighting up. They actually show you how they filmed this. It's short and it's in black and white, but it's stuff I've always wanted to see. I wanted to see it on the DVDs. I wanted to see it on the Blu-rays, but Toho's just been so stingy. I just thought this stuff didn't exist. And when it came out and I was posting this stuff, even August Dragone was going crazy over it because he had never seen it. He's like, Mike, I can't wait to see this stuff now. If he could lose his shit over this, and it's him, it shows that they finally, and the Biollante extra features have some cool stuff on them too. There's a very long, about 2-3 minutes long, of just the Rose Biollante being set on fire and burning away. They trained the camera on it. They left it there. They set the suit on fire and they filmed the whole thing. And that's all the scene is just looking at the Biollante suit burning away. And it's just, I didn't expect to see that. Like, where did they find that? Why couldn't they have released that before? And it was heartbreaking to see them destroy the suit. Like, you just watch the suit burn up. But it's the kind of stuff I've always wanted to see. It's cool shit. And I can't really, awesome. And I've converted quite a few people into buying these things just on the premise of you're going to see stuff you've never seen before. Spend the money. The quality is amazing. This isn't a cheap release. And it's nice that Toho is starting with the Showa films and not just dumping the Heisei stuff, because we've seen the making of Heisei films. We've seen that stuff. It's cool they're going and releasing the Destroy All Monsters first to really give you an idea like how cool these films can look. And I'm just so glad they're out there finally. I know they're not for everybody because they're expensive. They're not subtitled. You have to buy a 4K player and a 4K TV. I splurged. I don't usually splurge like that, but I splurged, and I'm really happy I did. So
what's a 4K player run you nowadays though? They're not crazy anymore.
The cheapest I could find was a little under 200
for the player.
Yeah, I'm sure there are much better ones out there. It was a Sony, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
Or unless you have a PS5 or an Xbox.
I was going to ask.
Or if you already have those, but I don't have either system.
Yeah. I mean, most TVs at this point, I feel like are 4K pretty much out of the box at this point.
But you'd have to, if you want these discs, you'd have to make the expense all at once. Unless you have this stuff already, then what? And obviously, buy the discs. But if you don't have any of that stuff already, you're going to have to make the expense. And,
yeah, exactly. The first thing I'd have to buy is the player.
It's worth it if you love these movies. If you really, truly love the movies, it's worth it. Mark, they retail for 6,000 yen for the UHDs. I think the regular Blu-rays are for something. I'm not sure. But obviously, the yen is weaker, and I think they were 4,500 or so when I actually purchased them. Honestly, it was the shipping that was a bitch. I wanted to buy them individually, and I couldn't do that because the shipping almost made it double the price. So I had to buy them all together in a bundle just to save on shipping. But I don't know, they're worth it.
That's crazy. The shipping would be that high.
Well, for one disc, you're paying like double what the disc cost.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. I wanted to buy a book on CD Japan that was like $40, but the shipping was almost $40. It's like it wasn't worth it. If you buy
Rich, what
things
are you
in
paying for
bulk, it makes
shipping?
more sense. But
Yeah, that's what, because I haven't gotten anything shipped from Yahoo since the summer, but I don't think my shipping was outrageous on anything.
it depends on what it is, I guess. And
Yeah, Rich, what do you? You're getting a ton of shit. What do you? You think it's bad? I mean,
Oh well,
I mean, you're getting boxes that are like
yeah, I'm not-
16 by 16 boxes.
Yeah, shipping sucks.
Yeah, honestly, like when I'm factoring in, if my boxes that I've had coming have had anywhere between 10 and 15 figures in them, you know. So I think one of the boxes cost me like $200 to ship EMS.
Yeah.
But factor in how many figures I have in that box, you know, the shipping alone would, for each figure separately shipped, I would fucking spend stupid money doing it like
Right.
that. So that's what helps consolidating. So I'm ahead of the game by consolidating with the shipping.
It's still expensive, but yeah.
But if you want
Yeah.
one DVD or one book, like I was just gonna buy Godzilla versus Mothra versus Godzilla. I was just gonna buy that by itself and not the original Godzilla until I saw what the shipping cost. Like it was $90, and I'm like, that's insane.
So,
yeah,
Mike, question on CD Japan. I've got, because you're motivating me here.
good.
Three 4Ks, and I selected DHL, and it's basically 3,000 yen. Was that
So
what
it's
you
like
were
25
paying?
bucks.
That's like it was. I didn't do DHL. I did FedEx.
Yep.
I think that was the cheaper option. But still, if you're buying one disc and the shipping is $25,
Yeah.
that's
totally.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm used to buying a DVD from Amazon, not paying a cent. To
Yeah.
spend $25 to ship one disc from Japan, you can't really afford to do it that way. You're just going to have to buy everything at once, and the shipping's about the same, if a little bit more, but you can't buy one thing at a time. You're gonna have to, if you're interested in them at this point, they're all released. Just buy them all. You save on shipping. I don't know.
Yeah, my whole thing is, if they were subtitled, it would be such a no-brainer.
But at this
I know
point,
it's
you know these
stupid
movies
because
in and out, don't you?
Yeah, I know. I've got so many versions of them at this point anyway.
You're
It's
never
almost
gonna.
like, well, does
you're
it
never
matter
gonna-
about if they're subtitled or not? I'm just gonna watch the special features anyway, probably.
You're never
So-
gonna want to watch another version again once you see how nice these look, though.
I think that's why I
Yeah.
won't get them, because they're not subtitled. Because if they were, I would throw away all my other garbage ones and just keep these. They're not.
Yeah.
I think one day they'll show up here, but I don't think it's gonna be right away.
No. I'll be patient.
Someone's gonna want to release another box set of these things to justify getting the 4Ks from Toho. I just don't think that's happening ever again. That's just
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of with Nev in a wait and see mode. Like, as much as I would like to have them, you know, I understand the value of them though. Like, I would never, like physical media. I mean, you see it now with the Heisei movies, you know, disappearing, off Pluto, and people are like, "Oh my god," you know. But I mean, you got to get the physical media. Somebody sent me a picture the other day of a Best Buy, and they've taken and the shelves are just all empty because they've taken all of the physical media out of the Best Buys starting in January.
Target's about to do
And,
the same thing.
Yeah, it's just crazy to me. Like, why would you not want to own the movies that you love? You know, I understand not buying everything. Like when DVDs first came out, I used to buy everything on DVD. You know what I mean? And I've greatly narrowed it down to just like the stuff I love to have. But like, if you want these, you gotta make the effort to have them. Like, because you can't trust that they're not going to disappear.
Think about if you're a kid now, though, and getting into it. The only way to get the Showa films at this point is to buy the set. You can't get Return of Godzilla, Biollante, King Ghidorah, or Mothra anymore. You can't get them. If I was 10 and I wanted to own these movies, what would I do? I'd go to Pluto. Oh, they're not there anymore either. So how do you see them?
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Some films that used to be lost are getting easier to see. And the Heisei films, which were all over the place, are slowly getting harder to see.
Yeah, it flipped.
I bought. Sorry, Brian.
No, go ahead.
you could still find them. I see them on Yahoo Japan. Back in 2013, when Blu-rays were, just still kind of starting out.
Yeah.
I snagged Return of Godzilla, Godzilla 84 and Godzilla vs. Destroyer on the Toho Blu-rays, and those are gorgeous too. It's been a while since I've watched them, but that's another alternative for those films, that are not on 4K yet. But you're going to spend a little bit more money on those ones because they've been out of print.
And they're also, and again, if you're talking about the official legit Toho Blu-rays,
yeah,
they're not subtitled though. So
no.
That's back to the beginning problem. If you don't know what they're talking about, there's no point spending the money.
Yeah. Yep. For me, I don't mind because I know,
me too.
We all know what's going on, So
I grew up with bootlegs with no subtitles. I didn't know what they were talking about, but I still enjoyed the movies.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, some of these, like this picture here, like it's just crazy how the quality of that, and this one here too. It's just,
you got,
and that's just on my computer screen, so I can't imagine what that looks like, in, on an actual 4K TV.
Did I send you the one of Godzilla leaning over Hedorah's corpse, about to dig into it?
No,
I thought I did. Okay, no, but and what I've seen of Megalon looked fantastic. I mean, it's not scheduled for release yet, but the 4K pictures I've seen of it are amazing. So,
yeah, awesome stuff.
I'm all about the films themselves, really, and toys are great.
Well,
I mean, a lot of toys, but
if it wasn't for the films, there'd be nothing else.
Yep.
So, I'm always all about, like I said, physical media, like books. Those card sets are always cool to have. Anything, especially with the older movies. As these movies get older, there's less and less and less likelihood of, seeing the behind the scenes stuff. Like all the stuff from the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, there's so much of that stuff out there because everybody was filming it. Especially now, like people film it on their phones. People film everything behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But back in 1964.
Yeah.
There was nothing like that.
I mean, you should have seen me losing my mind when I was watching Destroy All Monsters, and there's Manda being manipulated over the train, and I never thought in my life I'd ever see that. And I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
I never expected to ever see that.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for hanging. I think we got to all the pertinent comments. So thanks for everybody for tuning in. I think we were talking for this year. We're gonna try to do a little bit of where maybe every other episode or every third episode we're gonna focus on a specific kaiju movie. Kind of talk about
how we
maybe
saw
a little
it.
bit of info. Yeah, how we saw it the first time. Maybe a little bit of info about the movie itself, and then maybe our favorite collectibles from that movie. So. If we were going to do, Godzilla versus Hedorah, bring a few of those to the table. We're not going to do them in any kind of order. Maybe we'll do like a poll in like GCG of like 3 movies and whatever gets the most votes or something like that.
That would be
but that's,
a good idea.
Yeah, that's one of the things we're definitely looking to do this year. I know Mike and Rich have somebody, and I have it saved somewhere, so forgive me, I've forgotten your name, but when we do the actual episode, I'll give you credit. Threw out the idea of doing a Bandai-centric episode focusing on like the history of Bandai.
I was talking about that. Yeah, we could just just go through it. Like it could be like a multi-episode thing. We could start in the 80s, go to the 90s. Like I'll just pull. Rich can do it too. We can all do it.
Yeah, you guys, that would be more your
pull everything out and just show tag differences and just do a history. We can have fun with this and just
Yeah, and then I definitely want to do a vintage. A dive into some vintage stuff. Somebody in the comments was actually asking about vintage, so we're going to do vintage this year. And then if you have any ideas, I mean, shoot one of us a message if you have an idea for something you'd like to, shoot the shit about. I'm down for whatever. Mark, yes, I still own the VHS bootlegs of the Toho movies. That's pretty funny. I still have most of my VHSs, but not my bootleg ones. But
I have all of those. I was paying $15 for a blank white.
Yeah,
and a blank white VHS case with a tape inside with just no subtitles and a white label on the cover, and I was paying $15 for that. It's back in the day. We got what we got. We dealt with it.
Yeah, from greasy New York bootleggers.
That tape that just recorded things off of Laserdisc back in the day.
Yep. All right. So thanks everybody for hanging.
Yeah, it's been
And
fun.
yeah. Everybody enjoy your weekend. Go Eagles. Oh God. Rich, you working on anything for your channel coming up?
I am. I'm starting off slow, but I have a bunch of stuff to do. Honestly, the next thing I'm going to do a 2023 haul. You know, of everything that I bought in 2023. So I'm waiting on one more box that has 2023 purchases in it, and then I'll do that. I'll be working on a collection video for around April once I get all this Bandai stuff, finding a proper home of some sort of something like that. And then reviews. So yeah, and I'd like to thank you again, Mike, for influencing me and making me spend money. Thank you.
I don't think it's very hard to do that, Rich.
That was impulsive, but you know, you've been talking about the 4K movies, you know, a lot. And you know, so that just speaks volumes. So I picked up, like I said in the comments before, Destroy All Monsters and my two favorite, Mothra vs. Godzilla and Ghidorah. So
well, I also didn't know showing you pictures of the 73 was going to make you rebuy your entire collection. If I had known that,
thanks.
Hey,
sending you the bill.
Hey, you're enjoying it. So
I am. I love it. So anyway, but thank you. But yeah, that's
no
all.
problem.
That's what I got coming up.
Cool. I think I'm going to film something this week. I've got that. I've got the Bandai maquette. I finally got it. Actually, I got it like a month ago. It's still in the box too. So I'm going to do something on that. Probably just like a shorter thing there because my last video was like 28 minutes or something crazy like that. So yeah, I'm gonna do something short, and then we'll see how it goes from there. So cool. Yeah. Cool. Thanks everybody again for tuning in. Thanks you guys for hanging out, and we will talk to y'all.
How about some coffee? Coffee? I like coffee.